welcome back to Coast View. I really enjoyed that conversation with Jonathan. We're so lucky to have entrepreneurs all over coastal Mississippi that are contributing back to the community in so many different ways. I came across this quote the other day. I've heard it 1,000 times. It's on posters, and you'll see it spread on Facebook. But it says this, that we rise by lifting others. We rise by lifting others. And Robert Ingersoll said that back many years ago, but we rise by lifting others. You think about that, it's so true. And it made me actually want to think hard about, what does that ultimately mean? And I came across someone actually discussing that, we rise by lifting others. What does it mean to this person? And I wanted to share this with you. It said this: it's a reminder to be encouraging and an understanding friend, the one who spreads love, positivity, joy, smiles, and laughter, and who always spreads kindness. Kindness. We need more kindness in the world. What's happened with social media and the way that social media works, and by creating our news feed, so many people to make it look like they all agree with us, when in fact that's really not the best approach. Unfortunately, we're so quick to sort of go off on people and we'll say things, in a comment stream we would not say to someone's face. I think sometimes we got to be reminded that everyone needs a dose of kindness. Even some mean people need a dose of kindness. I think sometimes it really works by leading by example. And on Coast View, we try to spend a lot of time sharing things like that and sharing experience and interviewing people that bring such a positive flair to the conversation. And, I hope that you get a little dose of something that reminds you why your kindness, what you do, the way you can lead by example can make a difference. In a way, that's the way my next guest. I'm gonna have Martha Allen, the executive director of Extra Table, and we're going to be joined in just a few minutes by April Lollar, who's the director of communications for Coast Eelectric Power Association, about an amazing collaboration that's taking place between the two of them and the Cooperative Electric Foundations here in the state. And before we do that, I want to go to Martha for just a few minutes and just first of all say, how you doing, my friend?
I'm good. I'll take a double dose of kindness this Friday and an extra cup of coffee to make it into the weekend.
Well, I could see you nodding, but the reality is we can forget if you think about interpersonal relationships and the way we interact as human beings with one another, is there anything more important than kindness?
There's not. Our mamas all said, treat others as you want to be treated. And I feel like the world has gotten tougher with time, and you never know what somebody's going through. And I guess we see that a lot. Here's another good transition in our food pantries. The people that we serve in the 57 food pantries that we support across the state, we don't know what is hitting them on a daily basis. And just a smile, a hug, just a nod as you pass sometimes goes so far for someone, and we're all capable of doing that.
Martha, what's exciting, and we've had multiple conversations about that. So just in summary, I'll say this, that when our friend Robert St. John, the entrepreneur from Hattiesburg, restaurant entrepreneur, writer, we know him through public TV, et cetera. But when Robert St. John had this idea to do something like Extra Table and eventually brought you into the fold, and you guys reached out and developed these incredible relationships with food pantries and partners that are providing so many different, avenues of how, that contribute toward helping feed people in need. It has ballooned into something that I don't think any of you ever imagined it could be. And it's amazing what you guys have been able to touch, the number of people that you've been able to touch, the number of meals you've been able to serve. And I'm sure that you still are marveling at how effective your effort has been.
Yeah, we absolutely are, Ricky. And just to talk about how Robert states it, he always says, I wish when I'd hired you and when we'd added to the team throughout the years, I'd written what I wanted to see Extra Table be in 5 years. And the last time we talked about this, it was like, I don't think I would have even dreamed for us to be where we are. And the reason that we are have had the growth and have the support is people just like Coast View and all the listeners, and for organizations like Cooperative Energy that understand that as they power homes, we've got to feed their customers and feed the people in all of our communities. So for anyone that's listening and doesn't know what Extra Table is, we've been feeding folks good quality, healthy food, meals that matter since 2009. And we're different and don't compete with our food pantries. We fundraise in order to purchase new, healthy, and shelf-stable food that we deliver monthly to food pantries across the state. And our number is up to 57 food pantries now. And man, it's a tough gig fundraising for all that, but telling the story of our work is what I'm so passionate about, and it's so fun to share that and to see how people connect with feeding people. Food's a basic human right, and we must all have it.
And we've seen so much challenge during the pandemic. We have a situation in America where inflation has really impacted lots of families. So you had the condition that you were already responding to, and then you add to that sort of the complicated framework that the current situation creates. And there are a lot of people in need, aren't there, Martha?
There are, absolutely. The face of those hungry has totally changed. So, you hit COVID in March of 2020, which seems like ages ago, and that brought a whole new group to the food pantry. The supply chain issues, that created chaos for all of us, especially purchasing and delivering food, the transportation costs, the hikes there. And now to be in 2022 and experiencing an 8.5% increase in commodities across the board, mercy. We're all talking about how expensive it is to fill our gas tanks, and my pantries are really feeling it. We're hearing from them, and we are responding because we know that we've got food in bulk, and we have the ability to get it to them. So we've got our truck is on the coast this week.
Oh, good. That's awesome. Okay, look, again, I mentioned that you've done a great job of developing partnerships, and the most recent one with Cooperative Energy is incredibly important. So why don't we do this? Let's bring our next guest into the conversation, and let me introduce you to April Lollar, who is the Director of Communications at Coast Eelectric. And I always like to start from this point of view, since this is a little bit longer form radio. April, before we talk about the collaboration, let's talk about you for just a second, and then we'll come back and we'll spend the rest of the time talking about the deal. But Director of Communications at Coast Eelectric, where are you from?
Originally, I'm from Ellisville, Mississippi, so I'm from the Pine Belt, just north of Hattiesburg, and I've been on the coast now since the year 2000 when I graduated college, so it's been my home now for a long time. My husband and I met in college and came here and are very happy Coast residents. Can't imagine living anywhere else.
So how long have you been at Coast Eelectric?
17 years. I started right before Katrina.
Yes.
Started the end of that May. So I don't know what that says about my presence here and what I brought with me, but you want to talk about baptism by fire. I had never done an interview like this on camera, anything like that. I was always the one giving talking points to other people. So my first interviews were in the midst of Katrina, and people were saying, tell us what you're doing to restore power. And I was still learning what we were doing to restore power at that point. So it was an interesting time. But that's one of the things that really made me understand and love the cooperative world. I saw the way co-ops from across the country came together to help one another. I saw the camaraderie. I saw people lifting each other up in a way I'd never experienced before. So, I had jobs before that I enjoyed, but I realized it was so much more than that. Co-ops are so much more than that. And I love that part of our operating principles and guidelines is concern for community and being there for the communities we serve. So reliable, affordable power is obviously incredibly important to our community, but being a community partner and participating with groups like Extra Table is so important to us. We have an Operation Roundup program. So when our members round up their monthly bills, it goes into a fund for grants for local organizations. Extra Tables benefited from that grant before. So we're so proud to be able to do that. And it's not just us, it's our members. They're the ones donating their pennies and nickels and dimes to help the whole community. So it's a great thing.
So April, I go back a long way here on the coast. I worked at the Sun Herald for 27 years, and Roland Weeks was my mentor and had the pleasure of succeeding him as the president and publisher of the Sun Herald. But Roland always taught me to give back to the community. So I was involved in the chamber and United Way and all the things that you get involved in. And as far back as I can remember, Ron Barnes and I were serving on boards together, the current president of Coast Electric. I thought he was absolutely the perfect president at the time because of his incredible, he lived by, talking about living by example, the work that he did in the community was absolutely incredible. And, I can see you sort of sharing his values as it relates to that. And I'm not surprised to hear that at all. Hey, when we come back, we're going to talk about this incredible collaboration around feeding people, specifically what is it, and we'll see you after this break. We started the show out today by saying we rise by lifting others, and I can't think of a better way to lift others and express your kindness than helping them when they're sort of down and out and needing a good hot meal, a healthy hot meal, which is what Extra Table is all about. I was so thrilled to learn about the collaboration between Extra Table and the Corporate Energy Group. And what we're going to do now is we're going to talk specifically about this. The Power 12 enters the food fight, and that's what is the headline. So, Martha, why don't you start it out, and we'll come back over to you, April, in just a second, and let you sort of fill in the gaps. You say what Martha doesn't say. So, Martha, kind of give me a sense of what this is all about.
Well, we were just talking on the break for a second how Extra Table has grown so much and what our monthly food costs are and the amount of money that we have to fundraise to feed our hungry neighbors here in Mississippi. So it is a big multiple digits number, and we are proud to raise it and provide it to our 57 partners. But we cannot do it without incredible corporate partners like Cooperative Energy and their Power of 12. I've learned a lot about electric cooperatives in the last couple of weeks, and they're member owned. So it's the community standing up and uniting together to feed their own. So it's a really unique partnership, and they serve such a huge part of our state, just like Extra Table. So it only made sense for us to work together.
I live on the northern shore of Biloxi Bay. You're right in the heart of the city limits of Biloxi, but I'm not a Mississippi Power Company customer. I'm a Coast Electric customer. And so, Coast Electric is unique. It is unique the way it's set up. And most of the cooperative energy systems here in Mississippi are nonprofits. So they're very unique. Well, I'm actually not just a customer, but I'm an owner. It's a very unique approach in Mississippi. And by the way, it's been really amazing. This is a whole nother conversation. We won't go there now, but watching the state legislature pass legislation that enable cooperative energy companies across Mississippi to get into broadband access and all that, it's going to be hugely important in our rural areas. By the way, I have a place up in the Mississippi Delta, and it was amazing watching all that fiber optic stuff go down in the Mississippi Delta at a time when it would have never happened had we not engaged the cooperative energy systems in it. So, hey, April, why don't you tell people, when we say the Power 12 and cooperative energy, give them a sense of the companies that are involved in this.
Okay.
Ooh, April, can you list them all? That's always the big challenge.
Martha, I have your release pulled up so it didn't forget anybody. And it is Coahoma Electric Power Association, Coast Electric, Delta Electric, Dixie Electric, Magnolia Electric, Pearl River Valley Electric, Singing River Electric, Southern Pine Electric, Southwest Electric, Twin County Electric, and Yazoo Valley Electric.
Woo-hoo.
We are all local companies. We're all distribution cooperatives that serve our local communities, and we receive our generation and transmission service from Cooperative Energy in Hattiesburg. So just like we have members, if you receive power from us, you're a member and an owner, just like you said, Ricky. And we don't call our members customers. Some people are confused. They're like, wait, I'm a customer. Am I a member? If you receive power from us, you are a member and owner of our company. And it's the same for all the cooperatives in the state. And those that I just mentioned all receive that service from Cooperative Energy. So while we're individual companies, we all come together for efforts like these, and it really just lifts up everybody. We're able to do something, not just Coast Electric serves 3 counties, Pearl River, Harrison, and Hancock, and we have around 88,000 meters on our lines and system. But with this partnership, we're able to reach over 400,000 people in Mississippi, and that just makes it so powerful. And we're so grateful for the partnership with Cooperative Energy and all of our sister co-ops.
Isn't it like 400? Sorry. Isn't it like 400 and sorry, Ricky. Isn't it like 436,000 homes, farms, and businesses that y'all supply power to? And I think that, like, on average might equate to 1 million people. And with 670,000 hungry Mississippians and that number just going up, 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 I mean, that's the coolest overlap to talk about power and hunger.
Yeah, I'm a customer of Delta Electric up in the Mississippi Delta. And, what's so important, the way I look at this partnership, when you think about the spread of the member companies that are engaged in this partnership, it's almost like a match made in heaven. And Martha, my advice to you is to try to figure out how you sustain this over multiple years. That's
it might change the lock soon.
Yeah, that might be, because the interesting thing about forming a partnership like this is that once you see how it works and it works so effectively, it's hard to walk away from it, because it's just it can be and should be incredibly effective. So you guys have to perform, Martha.
We're trying our best, but props to the leadership. Jeff Bowman, he was like, this just makes sense. And I tried to, trip him up and enlisting the power of 12, and I totally failed. But what the cool thing is that they have gone above and beyond and done is internally focused this. So they've talked about it externally, but internally they've all done peanut butter drives. So their employees know the Extra Table story and our work. And that's how we increase our footprint and continue to grow because of great partners.
Well, we're out of time, but look, it's been a pleasure to first of all, Martha, get an update from you. April, it's been a pleasure to meet you. Look forward to talking to you more about efforts at Coast Electric going forward. And good luck with this effort. There's never been a more important time to have a partnership like this, and I know it's going to be incredibly successful. And to keep up the great work to both of y'all.
Thank you so much. We appreciate all of this.
You bet. So listen, thank you for listening to Coast View today, and have a great weekend. We'll see you on Monday.